the first thing that we wanted to do, we've talked about peer giving a lot with Neil and Carl and other people at iTeams, and Jelly's familiar. But just so we're all kind of on the same page, we just wanted to start it with maybe an introduction or a reintroduction into kind of what peer giving is all about. And so I stopped on this page because I like this idea of that, you take care of good and we take care of the rest. And that's really what we're trying to do as a technology company. We think charities and organizations spend a lot of time, energy, and money worrying about things that aren't directly related to their mission. How to manage technology, how to manage a website, how to make things mobile responsive, how to process currencies in from different countries, how to issue tax receipts automatically. Those aren't issues that an individual charity, we believe, should be trying to tackle on their own. But someone like Peer Giving and there's other companies out there, we're really the ones who should be trying to take care of that stuff so that charities like iTeams can spend more time worrying about how to do program delivery, how to raise money, how to use the tool. So we often talk about a cup of coffee. Sometimes we'll give a presentation and we'll just leave a cup of coffee up there. So if kind of philosophically one of the things we're trying to do is take care, you take care of doing good, we take care of the rest. The other thing is try to replicate a good fundraising experience, and those often happen in person. Over cups of coffee. If you've been on a trip and you've raised some support and you come back, you thank your supporters and you tell stories and you talk about how you've been changed and what the impact was. And that's what's really inspiring to people about the type of work that you do and the type of work that charities do. But often when we kind of moved to the web, it just became really affordable to kind of spam people or send out e-blast after e-blast after e-blast. And we kind of lost some of that warmth and some of that personal connection. And so peer giving is really trying to build in more storytelling as much as you can into projects and personal fundraising pages so that people and projects can more easily demonstrate their impact. So that's another kind of key thing around peer giving. And then the last kind of key introduction, and this is maybe a little bit more technical, but we talk about building a product kind of from the front back. So hopefully the front end is really easy, it's really slick, the donations easy to make, the fundraising pages are easy to set up. And then in the back end it gets a little bit more messy. It's a little bit harder to use, although it's not bad. So the admins and the finance team and the development people and the marketing, it's less awesome for the back end to use. And we'll get better and better at the back end, but a lot of the products that are out there on the market we think are built from the back out. Worry first about data, first about information, first about fees and this kind of stuff. And then by the time they get to the front-end experience, which is really most important, it's kind of a janky product. So we're trying to do it the other way around, have a really good front-end experience as much as we can, and then worry about how to get the data in the places where we need it to be and where we need it to go. So those are kind of three key points on us and peer giving. So I'll stop there, and I chatted with Neil briefly. I'm tagging in for Carly kind of last minute, so I'm not nearly as prepared as Carly was. But the main thing, as I understand it, that we need to cover today is talking about how can people create and manage their own fundraising page on iTeams. Neil confirmed this. I'm hoping that this is confirmed by others. If there's other things that you want to make sure that we cover beyond that kind of experience and process, let me know now and I'll jot it down and make sure that we can get it covered. Otherwise, there'll be time for questions at the end.
Ray, Neil here. That's a great intro. And show us that awesome front end. That's why we're here with peer giving, and we want our people to be able to maximize that ease of use of getting the message out. And Tara and all her admin people, they'll work on the administrative back end later. Great.
Okay, so Carly wrote up a nice agenda, and it was on Basecamp there, and this is the main things that she wanted to cover. Basically, a member, which is a user of the site. To create a fundraising page, you need to be a member. And so that's really what we're going to cover. So where I want to start, instead of creating a member account, which is not the most common method, most people create member accounts on peer giving sites because they're making a donation and then they choose to create an account. They're making a monthly donation in which they need to create an account, or they're creating a fundraising page, in which case they need to create an account. So that's the most common way that people sign up through the site. So that's the system or the process that I'll take you through. But you'll see up here in the top right, there is a login sign up button, and if someone wanted to just sign up out of the blue, they can do that by going through this process. What they're signing up for is not entirely clear, which is why most people come in through the front door through trying to create a fundraising page or something like that. Just realizing I'm going to have to confirm my email, so you might see my personal email, so just avert your eyes when we get there. Okay, so the first thing about peer giving is the homepage, obviously, and Jelly's done a great job working with iTeams to really make it clear, you know, what this project is about, what the site is about. And then you have the running activity blog, featured projects and fundraisers going on here down the side, and then community updates to see, oh, this is really cool, what's going on? Well, these guys posted yesterday, you know, that's pretty neat. The other element is an element that we call discovery. So people may come to iTeams for a variety of reasons and not exactly know what they're interested in or what iTeams does. So kind of a project focus allows them, or a category focus allows them to discover, oh, children, adults, leaders, okay, I'm going to be most interested in leaders. So now once you get within a category, you're within what you've called leaders, and now there's a series of projects below that I can give to or fundraise for. And so because my first organization I worked for was in Zambia, I'm naturally drawn to Zambia, so I'll click on Zambia. So now this brings us to the project page. So the project page we kind of say is the organizations, and the fundraising pages are the people's. Not that people can't have project pages or organizations can't have fundraising pages, but this is where you get to kind of talk about the work that you're doing and the impact that you do, and try to inspire people to donate or start a fundraiser. So in this case, we're most interested in how can people create their own fundraising page in support of a project that's meaningful to them. So that's what we're going to go through right now, and hopefully it's a good experience. So I don't already have an account on iTeams, so I'm going to have to create a brand new one. We'll go with this. And if you have questions, please jump in. That'll be the most useful piece of our time. Here at the bottom is a key point. You know, with new CAN spam laws, these boxes have to be unchecked, but I'll get your updates. And then here's basically subscribing to your homepage blog. Each project page and fundraising page have their own blogs, but when you sign up, generally anywhere through the site, you get the opportunity to sign up for that homepage news blog that comes to you via email. So once you click confirm your account, this is the page that you'd get taken to continue creating your fundraising page. If you already have an account, you can do what I just did, where you just log in. And then here's the one-page simple creation process for anyone to create their own fundraising page. We've already anchored this amount to be 500, which is kind of industry standard. It's also what we've seen to be a good goal. That's a bit of a stretch, not too low, but you can add zeros, remove zeros. You can change that however you want. We do process in different currencies, but you probably don't want to change that. And I believe by default, the target date is 60 days. But if you wanted to, you can do it shorter. So I'm going to try to do mine by the end of the year. So required fields here. Now the uploading an image is optional, We should almost make this required. It used to be required back in the day, and we found it was a barrier to people creating their pages. But having a page that does not have an image is not great. I mean, preferably there's things like videos, but having an image is going to be key. Otherwise, it's just text, and it's not very appealing. There we go, iTeams training. So this picture is not my personal account. This is a picture that will actually go onto the fundraising page. We'll show you where it is in a second.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah, you will? Don't trust my math here. So it's a very, very simplified version of a WYSIWYG here, where you can kind of bold some things. You can add the bullets like I did, and then you can add links as you like. Okay, so now I'm going to publish my fundraiser, and it's done. So your site is set to auto-publish or auto-approve fundraisers. You can turn that off if you want. We don't recommend it, so I like that you don't have it. And here's that fundraising page that I just created. So on the top, here's that purpose statement. Here's where my nice big photo ended up. And here's that content zone with the link. So that's all editable. This whole section here is what I can control. And then on the right here, this pulls in automatically through the system around the project that I'm fundraising for. And what we're trying to do is, typically peer-to-peer fundraising or these types of pages have very low retention rates because people will give to me as Brady as opposed to really caring a ton about iTeams. And that will always be the case, but by trying to introduce some of what is the project actually about, we're trying to tie in some of the organization like iTeams to develop some brand recognition and connection to the donor. But then also the donor can feel more confident as where's my money actually going? So it's great Brady's fundraising $500, but they can quickly see, oh, it's for an African Leadership Conference in Zambia. Oh, that's pretty neat. So that's the first part of just creating a fundraising page. Maybe and through that I created my membership profile. So I'll stop there maybe, see if there's any quick questions. None? Cool. Keep going.
Sure, keep going. Just pointing out one thing, Brady. It's Neil here again. The automatic publishing of that page is not enabled. That both.
Oh, it's not public yet. Ah, right.
It's not public.
Gotcha. Sorry. And is that how you want to keep it?
Probably better an offline conversation. I'm not sure exactly why we're set up this way, but
sure.
We certainly have been informed that you're starting a fundraiser on our behalf, and I'm ready to make it public and make a $25 donation to get you going. Nice.
There you go. That sounds good. So what Neil probably intentionally referenced, but potentially not, for fundraisers creating their pages, there's a very short window from when they create their page and start using it and having success, and when they kind of drop off and almost never come back. And I was doing a webinar this morning, and the stat that Razoo uses, if they get a donation within the first 3 days, they stand a much higher chance to achieve their goal. And for us, we've maybe seen it around, like, if they don't kind of publish their page or do some activity within that, 2, 3, 4 day range, then it's easy to forget about, unless they have to raise money for a trip or something like that. So that's one of the reasons why the auto-publish is nice. There's no lag time between, wanting to take action and then being able to take action. So that's one thing, is if you're monitoring the site or you know who's registering, what can you do to get them started? A small donation to say, hey, way to go, is fantastic. That's a great way to get them started. So then for them, the key thing is going to be inviting supporters and asking for donations. Telling their story is awesome, especially if they go on a trip, talking about how the money's being used and their experience is fantastic. But even if you do all that stuff, excellently, unless the peer fundraiser is willing to invite some supporters to make a financial donation, primarily through email, although Facebook in particular is getting better, they'll have a hard time reaching their goal. So you can invite people to become supporters in a few ways. One, we have built-in functionality here where you can copy and paste emails if you wish. So I'll put in Caitlin. Is that it?
Just on that. I don't have a peer giving.
Right. Or you can import from your address book if you wanted to. And there'll be some preloaded content in here around after the email. It'll have some links, how people can take action. It's preloaded with some standard copy and subject lines to try to make it a little bit easier so people aren't lost. And so here at the bottom it says links to learn more and donate will automatically be added to the end of the email. So that's the advantage of using the system. You can go ahead and just fire out some emails like that. Or then obviously the other thing that you can do is you have your own link for your fundraising page here. You can just copy and paste it, put it into your Gmail or Ymail or Hotmail or whatever you're using, and then write your own personal email and leave that as a link. So in addition to people being able to donate to support the fundraiser, they can also follow along with my updates if they want to. So since I'm logged in with an account, I click follow and it just added. So now every time I make a post, it'll come through in an email digest with a summary and a link to learn more about my update. I can add a post easily enough from here. Again, real simple WYSIWYG. We're not trying to get too crazy with things. Integrate with some of these simple services. And so now here's my very first blog post introducing Neil, which will make the money just flow in like nobody's business. Tied to each blog post here, it says who it's posted by. So in this case, it's me. And where it's published, so it's my fundraiser. And again, if people are going to write blogs and share, we want the action to be close by so that people can come to a blog post or follow me and maybe not donate right away or by the third post, but then eventually, this seems like a cool project. How can I make a donation? So before we go through an actual donate flow, you'll notice that my membership page is this usual suspects looking man, or potentially woman, but person. Up here is where you can manage your member profile, or your members can manage their own profile. And a profile page looks something like this. So what's neat about this type of feature is if you have people that run multiple fundraisers or they maybe go on different trips, their kind of whole impact for iTeams can kind of be summarized on this page. So if I had multiple fundraisers, it would show the different pages that I have going. If I'm following some different projects, you can see what I'm posting or what I'm following. If I'm posting on multiple projects, but you don't care about my projects, you just care about me, you can come here and just follow my posts from different projects. So this can really become kind of the member, the super champion homepage if they want to. So then here's where they can do some customization. They can upload an image. It's a really big picture. And this too used to be required to upload an image to members because, again, no one likes giving to a shadowy box. But again, we found that it was one extra step. I think if you're working more closely with these fundraisers, and particularly if they're going to be fundraising more than once, or they're real dedicated volunteers, having them upload their own image is going to be key and go through this kind of process. So now I'm in the back end of my profile. So this is me as Brady Josephson on iTeams site, not an admin. This is what I can manage. So I can manage my profile. I'll go to dashboard, posts, pages, subscriptions, and donations. So summary is where I can write a quick little bio about me. Whoop. And so same thing, you can post some of those simple WYSIWYG links. I can change password, update email if I wish. We just released a new feature where people can manage their own monthly giving. So if I moved, I could change, my address. If I get fired, I can change my email. And again, this is where more of like the super users have some tools that they want, where they can kind of manage their different posts, quickly see some different views. If you're managing different pages, this is where you can go to keep track. How are my subscriptions? How are my views? You can manage your own privacy. So if I signed up and then the blog's not totally awesome, then I can unsubscribe, but I do want my giving to be public, so that can be on my profile page. And then donations. I have not made a donation yet. So that's kind of the member homepage where I can manage my page and my profile. I can get back to it anytime, kind of go in here, and this is kind of where I live. So again, you can edit there, get back to the fundraising page where we started. And now we got a nice face there. Hey, Carl, welcome. Two nice faces now. And a donation. I'm on my way. I got to walk backwards for 10 minutes. I'll do it later. So then last thing that we need to cover, and then we can maybe open up to some questions, is this Invite Contributors button. So this is possible at the project level, but also at the fundraising level. And this is if you want to fundraise, say, as a team or as a group. So I can invite, say, Caitlin again. Am I spelling your name right? Mm-hmm. So same thing. This is kind of hard-coded invite for Caitlin. And this one, if you're inviting contributors, we strongly, strongly recommend, and it might actually be the only way. I think it's the only way to actually get someone to be on your page as a contributor without being an Uber admin like Carl is to go through this process where you invite them to be a contributor, send them an invite. They'll have to accept. But Carl's basically functioning as another contributor, and what that allows him to do is he can make posts on my page now as well. He can invite some supporters. He can make edits to the page. If he says, oh, this picture is no good, let's get a different picture. He can make those edits too. And so where it's most commonly seen is if you have maybe like a family that wanted to fundraise together, or two missionaries, like a husband and a wife or something like that, who want to co-manage a page. That's where they can do this kind of stuff, is through that contributor button. And then in the back end of the fundraising page now, under community, is where you can manage the different people. So Neil here, I think, is following my page. He's a member. So if I wanted him to be able to make posts, I can make him a contributor. If I wanted him to be an owner, where he can like revamp the whole page, I would click Make an Owner. You can filter if you have a ton of people. I can see transactions only to my page. So thank you, Neil.
Good job.
So now what I can use here is I can thank them personally or something like that. And then this is back to the dashboard for the personal fundraising page. So I will stop there. Actually, one last thing I didn't do was social, so I'll go back to social. If you don't use something like Buffer or Hootsuite or any of these plug-in tools, there's these embedded tools here, so Facebook, Twitter, and then you get the whole rest of them if you want. They'll also be on blog posts. Thanks, Carl. They'll also be on blog posts as well. So there's the kind of the social sharing built in kind of throughout the system for people who don't use their own social sharing stuff. So I'll pause there and see if there's any questions.
Looking good, Brady. When someone comes and they look at your site and they want to make a donation, will they see some of those same menu items that you're showing us, like edit page and invite supporters and invite contributors, or is that just your view?
Great question. So I just logged out, and this is the view that everyone else would get. So what that stuff's called is an inline editor. And again, for people who don't want to necessarily log into an account and go through a back end, having those edit buttons in line with the content, our belief is that it makes it easier for people to edit their own pages. So that's why you see them when you logged in. You'll only see them on pages where you actually have permission to edit. So if I went to a project page where I didn't have permission, those buttons wouldn't exist. But they do exist on my own personal fundraising page. So when I logged out and then went back to my page, this is the view that basically everyone would see, who's supporting, kind of who the contributors and owners are, days left, total raised, and then you'll see the rest of the information just like before, minus those buttons. Good question.
So if I'm just a friend of yours and a first time logged in, or a first time coming to see this, I can make a donation. Is there anything else I can do while I'm here? Can I make a comment or, say that you got a silly idea or
yeah, so definitely share. You can follow, but in order to follow, you'll have to sign up. Give us the email. That's how you get updates. So you can follow. Let's go back. Now we're getting lost in Neverland. Here we go. And I can comment without an account. So then it'll prompt you, like, hey, if you're a site member, you can log in and get your comment counted towards your post and activity kind of thing. Otherwise, we'll show you what that looks like. I forgot where that comment went now. Yeah, so the comment's down here on this blog post. There you go. That's that comment. And then the other advantage of having this project here is it has a fundraise call to action. So, if my friend came to this page and was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, Brady's at $25. That's lame. I could definitely raise more than him. They can start their own fundraiser by going through that same process that I just went through. So again, these two main actions, donate, fundraise, and share, are pretty prevalent throughout the whole system, especially on key pages.
Okay, very cool. And so if your friend says, yeah, I'm going to start a fundraiser,
Yeah.
it doesn't join your fundraiser, does it? It joins the main cause.
Correct, yeah. So when they click create a fundraiser, what they'll end up doing is creating another fundraiser under here. So now when you go to the African page, you'll see my fundraiser, and if my friend actually followed through, then it would be their fundraiser and anybody else. And I believe the fundraisers are ordered based on activity in the last 30 days, not just funds raised. I'll have to double check on that.
Great. So when you started us off, Brady, there were some fundraisers that were featured on the home page or the landing page.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of that sorting, as you say, is based on activity.
Correct.
But
So
if we go to the landing page, we don't find Brady on there at the moment, do we?
you don't. You'll see the latest posts, and this is supposed to pull, I think it's the top maybe 5, but say if I was the last person to do the last 10 posts, it won't just be Brady. It will just be one post from Brady. So it's trying to show more community updates. So that's how this content here is structured. And then these featured projects is managed by your Uber admins or your site admins. So Carl, Neil, Tara, others. Where if you're logged in as an admin, you'll have that inline button that will say feature this project, and you can feature any project or fundraisers to make it show up on the home page. So if you had a key project that was, a key focus in the month of December or something like that, you can feature it and put it on your home page. And I believe you get up to 10 if you want, but we don't recommend 10. It might be limited to 5. I'm not sure.
Okay, good.
Brady, is this a good place for Eric and I to jump in here?
I think it is.
Alrighty, so we here at Jelly we really are happy with what iTeams has been able to accomplish so far already with the peer giving platform, and we just want to see you guys empowered to jump even further with each fundraiser. So we put together a couple quick tips to basically what makes a good project, what makes a good fundraiser, and how can you get the most amount of kind of action on your fundraiser page, and what kinds of things do you have to do to get that. So I got 5 things here. So the first one is, the first principle is be very clear in what your fundraiser is. And that means giving direction and giving vision and giving really strong goals for what you want to accomplish. And that takes a little bit of pre-planning or whatever. Carly put together a really nice draft page that actually does this really, really well. Her fundraiser is a project where she happens to be artistic and likes to crochet headbands, and she wants to use that as a way to donate money to this project that she has thinks is a really good cause, the Romania Orphanage Project. And what she's done is she says, very straight off the bat with this call to action, or this with her purpose of her project, I will crochet headbands for $20 a piece, with all proceeds going to a Romania Orphanage Project. This is great for 2 big reasons. Number one, it's something that when they come to the page, they know exactly what's going on. They know that she is trying to do something that takes her effort, that's relatable, that people can join with, and it also gives a clear money goal that someone can donate. I would be willing to donate $20 to get a crocheted headband, and it's going to a good cause. That's great. Second thing is that it's very clear about which project it is. Over here on the right-hand side, we have the project description, but this also draws your readers' attention to that as well, that it's for a Romania Orphanage Project, very clear. So that's one of the big things. The second one is use really strong quality visuals. If you use a picture that's not so easy to see or takes a long time to load, oftentimes your reader will click off the page before they have a chance to see what's going on. She did this really well. She even made her own little custom graphic here that says crochet for a cause. It's very strong, it's very engaging, and it makes people question, well, what cause? And that's ultimately what iTeams is trying to do with this site is let's talk about the causes. Let's talk about what did you do when you were on your trip, what are some of the trips that are going on through iTeams, and how can I be a part, which is really great. So yeah, having really strong, clear visuals. That goes for blogs as well. So here she has a blog post, and she found a really nice graphic of some crochet yarn. And it's kind of like, oh, what's this all about? And you can do lots of different things with this. You might want to use pictures. If you happen to be someone that enjoys making videos, you can use videos to do this. Essentially, using strong pictures and videos, they will tell stories. And they tell the stories of what your fundraiser is, why you're interested in this cause, and why this cause is something they should support. Which leads us to the third one. This is really exciting. This was one of the first fundraisers that was put onto iTeams site after the projects were all implemented. And this is by two contributors, Matt Thompson and Andrew Maranta. And they did what is probably the best thing you could possibly do for a fundraiser. They started it as two friends wanting to make a difference and wanting to go on a trip. And they're able to tell their story from both of their perspectives, and then they were trying to basically kind of fund their trip and also create some interest in what is happening through Impact Zambia. And so they've been posting blog posts, and they've been telling all these different stories about what they're doing there. And for somebody who doesn't know anything about the project, who wants someone but happens to know who these are, it's very clear and it's very engaging for somebody who wants to learn more. This project here, I mean, I've had my hands working on different aspects of this site in terms of putting together some of the projects, but it made me want to go above and beyond and start my own fundraiser just because it looked like they were having so much fun. And that's really what doing crowdfunding and doing this using the peer giving platform is about. It's taking charity work and bringing it to life through the internet. So it's really cool. And they use some really quality visuals as well. Lots of pictures that tell stories about all these different people, that tell stories about what kinds of things are going on there, and really make it clear to the reader. And our fourth one, I've kind of touched on it already, is tell a story. Part of the reason why these guys got so much traction is that they're telling a good story. Part of the reason why this one that Neil put together, the Christmas celebration for Romanian orphans, is the pictures and all the text is very brief, but it tells a story. These are clearly children who are orphans, who need, have things that they need, and this cause wants to make a difference for them. It doesn't have to be a long story. It doesn't have to be a novel, but it's something that says, oh, there's people elsewhere around the world that I can be a part of, that I can help with by doing things like donating or starting a fundraiser. I can share this with my friends. I can tweet it online, and I can use that built-in blog to make a difference. And the fifth one, and the one that we're here at Jelly Marketing we're the most excited about because we do a lot of it, is share it on social media. The peer giving platform has a lot of ways that you can share your fundraisers, share your projects with your friends, your family, the people down the street, your churches, schools, workplaces, and you can do it in a way that everyone can access it. So the two big ones that we have are Facebook and Twitter. Facebook is a huge one because social media just They love it when people share things, and then it gets shared around, and then more people get to hear about your cause, about the fundraiser you're doing, about the cool things. Maybe you're being really creative about what you've done, like with what Carly did with hers. She said, oh, I'm going to crochet headbands. And things like that will get people really involved. The one that we would really recommend as well is email. And Brady kind of talked about how you can put together a list of emails and send it off to lots of people. But email is a very personal way of communicating through the internet. A lot of people don't necessarily handwrite letters anymore and send them through the mail, but email has kind of taken that place in our society. So if you really want to get a very targeted, clear message, let's say you have your family and your relatives and you're saying, hey, I'm going on this trip and I want to tell them about what I'm doing, send them an email, be very clear, be very I'm really engaged in this, and by doing so, you will engage them on a level beyond anything what pictures and what social media can do, because it comes from who you are and what you've made the fundraiser to be. And that's really, really great. So share as much as you can by any of the main means that the site uses. Yeah. So just to kind of summarize all of those, the big one was be clear. This project does that very well. Just $25 will help provide a Christmas celebration for many orphans. That's great. Use quality visuals. This one has a very clear photo of the orphans and all the people that are there helping them, and the project that's happening in Impact Romania. It's very engaging. 3, start one with a friend or with a family member. These two guys look like they're having a great time and they're excited about what they do. And that makes a huge difference for their fundraiser. 4, tell a story. As I mentioned before, their blog has all these very cool stories about what they're doing, and it's very easy to get into that and understand what is going on with Impact Zambia. What are they doing in, I want to say, I'm probably going to mess it up, but it's Tetsi. But what is going on there, and how do I get involved? And then the 5th one is share. Share it with all your friends, your family. Share it on your social media platforms. Email the people that you really want to be a part of it. And ultimately, when you do that, you're able to take something that is a already very beautiful fundraiser, but you are able to share it with as many people as you can. And ultimately, that is what will bring funding in for you, bring funding in for iTeams, and get the message out about what is all the things that are going on with iTeams. Yeah. So that's our five key ideas, things that we noticed as just in terms of the first couple people using the site. And I think if you follow those 5, these fundraisers will just be top-notch fundraisers and bring in a lot of interest for iTeams. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Addison. Those are good points.
Do you guys have any questions about that?
You know what would be helpful, if you don't mind? Could you take us through making a post on social media?
Totally.
Lots of people will be familiar, but just something that do it out loud. How you would think about it if you were going to post, say, the equipping entrepreneurs and leaders in a Tasy.
Totally. So here I'm on the site, and I've gotten interested in some of the projects here, and I'm going to talk. There's one in the children one that I really liked. Village of Hope, Burkina Faso. So I'm really interested in this, and I want to tell all my friends, and I want to use Facebook or Twitter to do that. So in this case, first off, I can just simply like it. And I've already got Facebook basically running on my computer here, and just that like itself is enough to make it happen. If I want to share a little bit more about it, you can connect with Facebook, and you can share it on your own timeline, and this is all through the Facebook platform. So everything is very what people know. I can send in a private message. I could start a group if I wanted to on a page or send it to a friend's timeline. But let's say I want to send it to my own timeline. I could say something like, wow, this is a great cause. Should check out this page. And then you can send it to whoever you want. I tend not to use public posts on my Facebook page because I just like to keep things just within my friends. And so with that, I can say, oh, okay, I'll share the link. And so then on my Facebook, that'll pop up, and then people who happen to follow me or are interested in what I'm doing, they can take a look at it. You can tweet about it as well. So I happen to have a Twitter account as well. There's not as much I can do with writing it, but tweeting it will make a big difference. My Twitter doubles up my Facebook, so I don't want to tweet and Facebook it. It'll come up like 4 times for people. It's a little bit much. And then ultimately, the big one that I would recommend is sending emails. So I'm not going to type in anybody's email here, but if let's say I want to tell my mom, and I say, hi mom, this is a great cause that I think you would enjoy. My mom likes to donate money and be a part of kind of different things across the world that have to do with food specifically. And so I could say, I know you like food and enjoy bringing it across the world. I hope you would help me out in donating for this cause. And that last line is really important because ultimately you can say, oh, I really like this, or this is kind of a cool thing. But if you don't direct someone to then take action after you've kind of convinced them, they don't know what to do. You know a lot more about what's going on than they do. So it's really important to, like I said, be clear on what that is. So that's kind of some of the different ways that you can use the platform. Sharing posts is a great way. Like if you can also share posts through Twitter and Facebook and email. So if you have a story that you put, or for instance, let's say I really thought Neil's video was really talked about the heart of education and why it's really important. I could say, oh, hey, I want to share this with all my friends through Twitter. So I could just go tweet and do something like check it out and put a hashtag education or something like that. And that would basically bring people who are interested in education also to the site, because hashtags are not, solely by people who that follow you. It's people who are interested in those things as well. So really, there's lots of different ways that you can get other people involved and bring them to the site to where they can then get engaged with it and then hopefully be driven to create their own fundraisers and be a part of these different projects. Does that answer your question?
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome.
I wonder, any other questions from anywhere around or comments people want to make? I think we're sort of in the last 3 to 4 minutes here. Maybe a comment from Carl and me that we've really concentrated in this training on the fundraising side of things, and just to let you know that the projects have been set up between international teams and Jelly Marketing on the site, on the Peer Giving site. And if any of our people on this webinar or viewing this webinar later want to get one of their projects live, it would be best to contact us at this point, either Carl or Tara or myself, and we would go through the steps of getting the project set up with you. We, like Brady said at the outset, the design of this platform is to empower the fundraiser of any age and possibly anywhere in the world. So we want to keep working on that, empowering people to do it. So if there's something of one of your projects that's not set up just the way you'd like it, or it's not even here on the site, then that's a good reason to contact Tara or Carl or me, and we'll get going on that.
Brady, did you have any last thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I think that was great and very bang on with a lot of what I've been reading and researching. So well done. Yeah,
I recently read an article on this Read Charity site about crowdfunding. It was quite good. I think I
Really?
can direct to it.
You should tell your friends.
Yeah, post a blog on the iTeams site on the front page about that. Lots of people need to hear those kind of ideas about how they can use social media and online crowdfunding to kind of get their goals started.
Yeah. The Christmas celebration for the Romanian orphans, there's at least 3 people taking turns sending out emails several times a week, and we've seen since they've started, there's 2 and 3 donations a day. So sending out those emails, as Addison suggested, is a pretty good thing to do. Okay, thank you all. I think we're done.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks, everyone.